Hi Tisha, thank you for the opportunity to interview you. And tell me more things about you and your experience in corporate wellness.
So I kind of began my career as actually my background's HR, and began my foray into corporate well-being while I was managing benefits for the American Heart Association. And we realized we didn't have a well-being program, but we were selling well-being to consumers in the public market through our nonprofit association. So we realized we had a need to implement, kind of walk the talk, so to speak. And so we started there, and that began my foray into well-being. It's been an awesome journey. I've had the opportunity to work in nonprofit and a privately held company, public sector doing well-being. I would say in terms of my experience, it's been really organic and holistic, kind of thrown in there into the flames and you just kind of survive it. I am certified as a corporate well-being manager, program manager. So I've done the certifications and taken the classes, and you kind of trial by fire. You learn what works and you listen to some of the greats. Dr. D. Eddington was here this conference, and he's awesome.
Great.
And you always have people that you can learn from, and experiences that you learn from.
What is your background? In which industry?
So
Many.
I've it's been quite a few. I've worked in the airline industry. I've worked in manufacturing, nonprofit, and most recently technology. So wonderful opportunities and experiences, very different, which is great because it adds to your level of experience and your opportunities. The audiences are always different. But I think the things that are the same is that it's going to implement a successful well-being program, you're definitely going to need senior management support. But as important as that is, it's just as important to get that groundswell from the employees, the rank and file employees, and meet somewhere in the middle, because really your challenge is never really senior management, because if you have a job, they see value in what you do. And the employees naturally want every benefit that you're going to give them. But it's those middle level managers that you have to work over. Those are the ones that have to manage the time of those employees every day, and they're getting the pressure from the top to get production met. And so those are the ones that you have to really buy and sell on what you're doing. They have to find value in letting the employees go to take a walk, do some mindfulness training, go to open enrollment training, eat a healthier lunch and take a break and take their vacations. Those are the ones that you have to work with. So I think it takes that management from the top, groundswell from the bottom, taking time to allow your programs to work. So many times we're used to an investment and then there's an immediate output, and well-being just doesn't work that way, because it requires building trust and rapport with employees in order to get them to engage in your programs and your offerings. And so that takes time. And then to really measure for senior management the outcomes of what you're doing, 3 years makes a trend, at least a minimum of 3 years. So when we start talking about, I gave you $100,000 last year, you're gonna have to really sell senior management on a longer term investment. Well-being is not a one and done. It's not done in a year. You're not gonna see success there. But at least 3 years, give your programs a chance to work, to build rapport, to build trust with your employees, so that you can start measuring those outcomes.
And it was a return on investment in your program?
Well, I am one of those
Value.
persons. Yes, I'm opposed to that term of, yes, return on investment. That's a financial term. And we do, companies that are doing well-being and getting some value or some return on the money that they pump into these programs are doing it because they're doing it the right way and for the right reasons. So they're not nickeling and diming every penny spent, but they're looking for, we're doing this because we really do care about our employees and we want the longer term goal to be met, to be won, as opposed to, I gave you $5 and now I need to get $6 back.
When.
Exactly. So if you're doing it for the right reasons, they're in it for the long haul, they're in it for the long-term goal, they're in it for the long-term win, and that means a longer-term investment takes time to get there, and they're patient about doing it because they want to be deliberate about doing it appropriately. You only get one time to make the first impression, So if you do it wrong, you roll out a well-being program and offend everybody, or you breach people's trust, you can't roll that back. That leaves a bad taste in people's mouths, and now you've lost your audience and you have to start all over again. So better to take the time, do it well, do it right, and then you will begin to see that return on your investment, because that's the keeping those employees engaged, keeping them there long term is much better than having to find new employees. The learning curve on getting them onboarded into your culture and teaching them again, that's really expensive. But if you can keep the employees you have and then help them to take ownership for their own health, make an investment in themselves, with the company also making a matching investment and effort and resources that they're providing them, you're going to get the value on your investment. You're going to get the output that you're looking for. It's a process.
Okay. And I'm very curious. The company that you work in, they have a global strategy?
They do. They're working on one and developing one at this time. Yes.
Also for Europe or US, or it's a global thing?
Well, currently the company that I work for is a global organization.
Okay.
And so they are looking at well-being as a whole. And so there are efforts being made to working towards a global strategy to make sure that all of our employees are being taken care of. I think we are doing it now. I would say it's definitely more activities-based, kind of one-off, and not as holistically, globally strategized, but there are thoughts and movement towards making strides that way.
How do you see a corporate wellness program in the future?
Corporate wellness in the future. Well, even here at the conference, I've heard a lot about genomics, and while I'm a little leery there in that space, I think that there definitely is some strides that are going to be made there. Also, I would hope that we finally jump that hurdle of nickel and diming every penny and not giving programs a chance to work, and really allowing the efforts that are being made in terms of well-being and corporate wellness to work. We've got great people doing great things and all this research and data, but if not given a chance to work in your culture and in your environment, you're not going to get out of it what we're put into it. So we just, you got to give it some time and keep thinking outside the box. I think we have young, great creatives that are coming up in this space, and apply those zany, crazy ideas that you think, that's not going to work. We're not going to be able to do that. You'd be surprised what people will go for and what they like and what appeals. And I think that personalization is important. So I don't think there is one bullet that fits everybody. I think it's going to require that those new up-and-comers that are bringing well-being into the space, that they do actually pay attention to what's going on, knowing their audience, and being creative about how they approach it. Sometimes it's that out-of-the-box thing that works better than anything off the shelf you could buy. So keep trying those new things. I think that's the most exciting piece of this whole well-being industry, is that we're moving into new spaces. We've got new people coming into it, and people are constantly growing and changing. And so what they need today is not what they're going to need tomorrow. So we have to keep being fluid, being flexible, and just growing and changing with the tide. It keeps changing, we have to keep changing with it.
That's a great advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, it was a pleasure. I enjoyed talking with you. Take care.